Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're gonna kind of just knock it in. I really want to talk about some editing with you guys and how I edit using just my iPad. Okay, I want to do it on the iPad so that way you guys can see that you can do a lot on the iPad or a tablet, whatever you have, but you can use a lot of the tools in the version of the Adobe here on the iPad, and it's really good. So just gonna go right into it. All right, guys. So here we have a fashion shoot that I did not too long ago. This is the image, not too bad. See, it's pretty sharp. I was using a Sigma to 24 to 70, not bad. Kind of misfocused a little bit, but it's not too bad. All right, so first thing, let me fix my exposure, like I said. So we're gonna raise up the exposure, just the overall lighting here, to where the waveform looks even across the board here. So that's not bad. There we go. So it's bright still, but we can adjust that, you know. But right now I have a general exposure. So now we're gonna go to the curves here. Go lower. I'm gonna raise it up a little bit here. Decrease the highlight. Same thing. Kind of get that S curve in here. Kind of go more contrasty. There we go. You can see how much the curves really make a huge difference here. See, I'm gonna put it here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Increase it. There it is. All right, and then here I'm just gonna do the same trick. Put a point right before the black level and then raise up the blacks. So you can tell, you see the blacks and the rocks here, how they're getting more light into it. Obviously that's not pretty, but you know, around this level kind of creates a nice look here. Right here, yeah, there you go. That's nice. So now if I just do right here, quicker before and after of just the curves, go to the light and hold the curve. Makes a huge difference. You see how much more contrast I'm getting now? I really like the look here. So now that we got it there, our good exposure, I'm gonna just decrease the highlights a little bit and then increase some shadows here and some whites. Not too much. Yeah, right there is good. There we go. And I'm gonna raise the blacks on the slider here. Now for effects, like I said, I kind of go a little bit with the clarity. See how it's making it more brighter towards especially her hair area. See that? Not bad. So I'm gonna just decrease the saturation, or sorry. So I'm just gonna decrease the texture and then I'm gonna raise the clarity a little bit. Not bad. Right there. All right, cool. And then raise up the dehaze a little bit so it gets a little bit more light in here. Now this is not bad actually. Not too bad. Now here, since I kind of don't like the lighting in the background, like on the rock there, you see on the bottom left, it's too bright for me. So what I'm gonna do is, so I don't affect my subject too much, I'm gonna create a radial mask. So a radial gradient mask, click on the plus sign, radial gradient, and then with your finger, just hover over the subject, make the image here. There we go. So I made the mask a little bit wider. Now what I'm gonna do is gonna press the invert button, and now it's only gonna affect the surrounding, not the actual subject here. Not too much. There you go. So around there is good. Let me put it a little closer. There we go. And now usually here I just kind of down the exposure. So just lower the exposure here a little bit. So it's almost like creating a vignette, you know, but it's your own custom vignette that you can also decrease the texture, all that type of stuff here. So we're gonna do that a little bit. Not bad, not bad. It's good. Just lower the exposure mainly. There we go. So I just lower the exposure now, but if you can tell here, I'll show you without the mask, without mask, with the mask. So you see how by lowering the exposure too, I brought a lot more color into the sky there. So now the color looks more blue, you know, so it's not bad. I might have probably decreased the blue. I'm not liking too much of the blue, but we brought some color back in, so that's great. So now we're gonna go to our colors tab, go to the color mix. I like the red, you know, she has a red here, so I don't want to ruin that too much. So I'm gonna kind of keep it where it's at. There we go. There we go. Kind of actually lower the luminance a little bit. There we go. I'm gonna put the luminance a little bit lower, not too much. There you go. And let's see how the saturation. I don't want it too red, but that's not bad. That's good. There you go. All right, cool. So that looks good. Now the orange here, I want to increase a little bit of the orange on her skin. to create more of that feel on her skin tone. So increase the orange a little bit, and the hue looks good to me. Doesn't look too bad. We'll do like that. There you go. And then the yellows here. Obviously her hair is being affected a lot by this yellow channel here. Just gonna decrease a little bit because I kind of like the way it's not too yellow with this look here. Decrease the luminance too, so it's not too bright. It's cool, not bad. And I'm just gonna lower the saturation even more, I think. Let's see. That's good. Right there. So let me take out the color mix. See, it kind of brings the exposure down of her hair a little bit by lowering the luminance. So I can keep the attention on her. Now look, before and after, not bad. Let's go back to the color mix and do it before and after here. So before the color mix and after. There we go, great. And now I'm gonna increase the vibrance a little bit because I like the colors that I'm seeing, but I'm gonna lower the saturation. It's kind of like a trick that normally people do, is to increase the vibrance but decrease the saturation. Put it around there. So now we're gonna go into the actual color grading. Let's check it out here. Let's see what we can work with. Not bad. I'm gonna kind of keep it to this green. That looks good too. Ooh, I like the way the orange looks. Orange. I'm just an orange type of guy. I don't know about you guys, but orange just feels good, man. I just like the way it looks. All right, so let's go. Same idea. Kind of raise it there. Let's see how much. That look kind of clean. That look kind of clean. Let's put it there. I'm gonna put the midtones a little bit towards the bluish. Oh yeah, let's do that. There we go. So the midtones are kind of in the green. All right, so now we're gonna go to the color tab and go to the color grading. So I kind of already was doing some stuff because my camera went out, but here is some, I kind of just moved it towards the orange here, and then same thing with the midtones. So actually, you know what? I like it more with the blue here. So I'm gonna keep it on the highlights here and keep it on the blue hue. All right, now we have some good lighting here, some good colors. Now, what I did too on the break was I added the mask. I already did the first one like I showed you, but there's a second one. I did like a, I'm trying to do like a golden hour thing there, so you can tell that it's like only affecting the background here. But I did that. I'm just gonna go ahead and lower the exposure a little bit. There we go. And then I did one for just the part of her hair and then behind it too. So because I want to make it look like her hair is being affected by the mask, by the golden hour look. So that I just added the mask there and then increase some of the shadows here, the whites, and then lower some texture. And the exposure, I raised up the exposure by 0.53, and that's pretty much it for that. And then to get the golden hour look on the color, I just move the temp towards more of the orange side. Not too much because it affects a lot of her hair, but just a little bit to kind of create that golden hour look here. So now if I do like a zoom out without the mask, I'm going to show you without the mask. You see that? Kind of creates a nice golden hour look on there. I want it affecting more of the side of where I added that other mask to kind of show that it's more gold on that end. Now, as you can tell, her eyes are not as bright. I usually do this trick a lot with portraits or like fashion shoots, is I create a mask and I just go ahead and highlight and make a gradient on the eyes here. I want the eyes to pop out, not too much because then it looks fake, but just enough to make them come out a little bit. So I'll raise the exposure, and then my effects, I actually increase, either depending on how the shot is, I'll increase the clarity and then increase the texture and then light it up a little bit more with the exposure. And if I want to make it a little bit more orange, not too much, but just a little bit. And now if I go back, so it's actually a big difference here. I'll show you without the mask. There we go. So I'm gonna actually increase it a little bit more right there. Not too much. You see how the eye's looking pretty nice, but not too much because then it looks fake. I'm gonna increase the clarity so it's not too like bright there. There we go. Now let's go do a zoom out. Not bad. The eye is kind of popping out a little bit. I like that. So now all I do is then, since I can't just leave one eye like that, so I'm gonna grab that mask, click on the mask and press duplicate, and then move that mask to the other eye. Since I already made all those settings, I don't want to have to keep doing those over and over again. So like right there, around there. Beautiful. Now come out. And now if I just take out the eyes here, I'll show you. Take out the eyes. You see how it changes the whole thing there? Now her eyes have more of attention, you know, and you can actually see more details of her eyes. So that's great. Now here is pretty much done. I would then move to the skin. Honestly, it kind of depends on like what you're trying to do, but you know, take out some of these here. So I'm gonna take out this pimple here, just a little bit. Just go on the remove tab, and I don't want to take out all the aspects of her skin, like a lot of the characteristics, because you know, obviously I want this to still be natural. So just gonna take out some of the more obvious things. Take that out. Here we go. Take that out. Take this out. All these little guys, just so that the attention is not being drawn away from her face. I want to keep it on her, like this. Here we go. Get that guy out. They're very small things, and you know, like I said, you can do this on the iPad pretty easy and pretty fast. It's actually kind of crazy. Like, you don't need to do Photoshop to kind of create that look, you know. So just take some of these guys out, some of these distractions. See some of those highlights that are just kind of harsh. I'm gonna take that out. There we go. And that too. All right, cool. So I took out more of the obvious stuff. I'm not gonna take out all that because that's part of her face. I don't want to ruin like all that type of characteristics on her. But generally that's good. Let me take out this guy, this little line going down. There we go. All right, cool. And then what I'm probably gonna do is also clear up her face here with the hair. Let's try and do that. Now, of course, you know, you can spend your time to get it so that it's not as obvious or you're not ruining too much of the skin. I'm just kind of doing a quick rundown to show you how you can use the remove tool to kind of fix a lot of these little hair marks here. And let's try this. Sometimes it doesn't work as great. Wow, I actually kind of got lucky. Sometimes it's a hit or miss. Sometimes I'm just like, let's see if it works, you know. But in this case, I actually did pretty good. All right, great. So that's not bad. I'm liking the image, and that is pretty much it here that I would do. If you wanted to, you know, you can create more mask to get it more exaggerative, but these masks turned out well. You know, you see how crazy it changes the whole image because of that mask. So this is pretty much the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was just kind of like a quick rundown of how I edit, and how maybe you would like to take some of these tricks, especially when it comes to masking and kind of your color wheel and also your color mix there. But that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you guys think. If you like any other type of content, let me know. I also have some videos up here. I have my flash photography video, did pretty good. Thank you guys for the engagement, and also some little promo clips that I have for some businesses. So check them out when you guys can. But thank you guys again. Have a blessed day and be safe. Bye bye.